Welcome to the Golf Lab podcast. Today, my guest is Oneill Cowan, head coach at Urban Golf Performance. You
That's
laugh,
right.
but that's your title.
I
You
know.
are the head coach at UGP.
Yep.
Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for playing golf with me today.
Yeah.
Just want to talk to you about teaching. You've been teaching golf for a long time in a lot of different places. Learned a few things along the way. Kind of
Yeah.
pick your brain. You're from Long Beach. Spent some time in Riverside with me. And now you are kind of all over the states with UGP.
Yeah. So still, I live in Long Beach again. I grew up in Long Beach, moved to Riverside to play at Cal Baptist University, and then lived out there, started my career, my family, and then moved back to Long Beach. UGP is located Santa Monica. So we have two locations in LA, one in Orange County, and then we just opened in Austin, Texas.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I figured best spot to live would be in between the SoCal locations, and then conveniently my family is there too. So
Yeah, works
we,
out. And
yeah,
Long
works
Beach
out.
isn't too bad a place to
No,
hang out.
no, it's a good
Yeah.
spot.
So what do you do for UGP now?
So head coach. So my job, while I don't do it perfectly, the intention is to make sure every single golfer sees improvement, and then to make sure every coach that the golfers are working with is awesome.
And how long have you been there now?
I've been with UGP for 6 years.
6 years. Very
Yeah.
cool. How many coaches do you think you've hired for UGP?
Well, it's me and the chief of staff. We work together on the hiring, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know the numbers. We probably have like 24 coaches right now,
How many coaches do you have at each location?
6 to 8. So
6 to
there's
8.
4 hitting bays, and a location will have 6 to 8 coaches.
Very cool. What do they all have kind of the same amenities at each location? And
Yep.
Yeah.
So all TrackMan, Swing Catalyst, video capture, 6 to 8 golf coaches, and then we have 6 body professionals from fitness trainers to physical therapists.
Very cool. And how does it work? Do you have members, or can I just go there?
Yeah. So we call it a membership, but it's a package-based membership.
Mm-hmm.
So a client will come in for an assessment. We'll look at their body, their swing, their equipment, and then we'll develop a plan from there. Every package holder we call a member because we need to have a certain amount of members so that we can still book their sessions and all that.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah. What does each location have the kind of a similar amount of members, or?
yeah,
Yeah.
roughly 300 members
Very
for each
cool.
location.
Very cool. And you said you have 2 SoCal locations.
So 3 SoCal,
3 SoCal.
2 in Los Angeles, 1 in Orange County.
Where are the ones in LA located?
So Wilshire Boulevard, and then one off Sepulveda. So in the morning they're 10 minutes away, and after 8 o'clock they're like 25 minutes away.
Standard LA traffic. What about
Yeah.
the one in Orange County?
Right by tucked away corner of John Wayne Airport.
Okay.
So that's kind of our corporate headquarters too.
And where can we find you most of the time?
So I do a lot of the training. So if you apply as a golf coach, you'll be with me every minute of your first month.
At which location?
In the Santa Monica
location.
Wilshire location. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So you've got 4 TrackMan bays, and then what's the rest of the facility look like?
It's like a gym space.
Okay.
So different modalities, and then we'll have recovery room too, where we have tables for soft tissue work and stuff like that.
Very nice. How did you find yourself at UGP?
So actually the COO, Leo Rooney, him and I played college golf together.
Oh, there you go.
So
At Cal Baptist?
at Cal Baptist.
Very cool.
Yeah, and he joined the company maybe 9 years ago. And he would call me and just be like, hey, this is awesome. This is like what we studied, because he was an exercise science major as well. So we both played on the golf team, both exercise science majors. And UGP is cool because, you're tying in the body and fitness aspect to golf. And, that stuff just matters so much, right?
Definitely.
Like people want to enjoy golf late into their years. So the body is going to determine how enjoyable it is.
Definitely. I mean,
And-
golf is, in theory, you can do it for your whole life, but if your body breaks down on you,
Yeah.
it's going to limit that for sure.
And I love what Leo says. He's always like, yeah, it's like the fastest sport. Like you get out of a car and you're swinging 100 miles per hour.
Yes, very, very true and very dangerous sounding when you put it that way.
I love when he says that, because I'm like, yeah, warming up matters so much. Like how you take care of your body just matters so much. And we always, when you see UGP, you see it for, it looks like a tour player experience,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, but the people that really need to be working on the body to make sure that they're, playing well and enjoying it are just the average people. The
Yeah,
people that
people
are,
people always want to be like the tour pros, and it's probably the way that gets overlooked the most is taking care of their bodies. They can
yeah,
exercise and try to be fit like the tour pros. Probably the easiest way.
yeah. And it's funny actually, like they've done a lot of studies. They'll study how does a workout program affect a golfer or like average golfer population. And if you had 100 people and you wanted to guarantee improvement,
Mm-hmm.
you would not put them in for coaching lessons. You
Yeah,
would have them do a golf specific fitness program, and it's guaranteed results into your golf game, like guaranteed lower handicap, guaranteed higher club speed and better distance. So,
I mean, I feel like for so many of golfers in general, especially ones getting up in years, if you can add some speed,
oh yeah,
it just makes a world of difference. I find in at least probably half my students, I'm just trying to gain speed,
yeah,
speed, speed, just to make golf playable for them. Really.
yeah. Well, is this whole everyone's gotten tricked by the 7 iron in the last 15 years. Have I told you this?
No, I don't think so.
I always say like the last 15 years, the 7 iron has tricked everybody,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because what's a 7 iron loft in an average player's set?
It's different than it used to be. I can tell you that,
Yeah,
but I
it's
don't know
it's
what.
a hot 5 iron,
Yeah,
right?
that's a
So
hot
the
five
current
iron.
7 iron is a hot 5 iron,
Uh huh.
and so everyone's getting tricked by the 7 iron because they gained. Let's say you're 40 years old, in 2010, right? You gained distance with your 7 iron every year
Mm-hmm.
through technology.
Yeah, but
And it's like right now they're getting the rug pulled out from under them
mm-hmm.
because they're realizing like, oh, my 7 iron goes 170, but my driver only goes 240.
Yeah,
It's like, well, your 7 iron's a 5 hybrid,
yeah,
right? And that gap actually makes more sense.
yeah,
And so I'm excited. Like I'm okay with the rollback of the ball a little bit
mm-hmm.
because I think people should take, you know, they should look at golf as something that they work out for, something that they try to take care of their body for, so that they can still play with some speed. And speed is like there's the speed mountain, right? Like if you can get faster, 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 and get to that peak, then as it slows down, it'll be more manageable.
Yeah, for
If
sure.
if you don't work on it, especially like at age 40, 50,
Yeah,
it could get pulled out from under you, and the
yeah.
whole game gets less fun.
How much loft do you think has been taken off in the last 15 years of a 7 iron? Of the
Um,
average 7 iron. I know the lofts are different. Every
yeah. So
manufacturer has different lofts, but
I mean, I
different stock
yeah,
lofts.
I think the game improvement irons might be like 29 degrees, right? And standard used to be 35,
Uh-huh.
right? So like I said, you gain distance through that, and then the ball's spinning less, and
Yeah.
that 7 iron ends up being the club that people just hit the farthest, and
Mm-hmm.
they anticipate their driver distance based off how far they hit their 7 iron.
Yeah. Even though the driver distance stayed the same the whole time.
Yeah,
Even though the
exactly.
club heads got bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, that's one of my passions. Like you remember when, I mean, we worked together at
Yeah.
Canyon Crest. I'll never forget some, like you just see it when people are playing golf every day. The guys that are working out the most are the happiest out there.
Yeah.
They're still hitting the ball far. And then people who relied purely on skill and didn't work on the body, they can hit the ball perfect, compress it perfect, but it's just not going far enough to enjoy.
So how do you change the mindset of the average golfer from buying the new driver every 6 months to taking care of their body?
Yeah, I think they should do both.
Like a club salesman. I see. I
No,
see.
no. Hey, if getting a new driver motivates you to practice, then it's
Which
it's
it definitely
useful.
does for
It
some
does.
people.
It
100%.
for sure
Yes.
does.
For sure does.
No, I think, you know, gyms don't make money off the people that go. They make money off the people that don't go,
Without a doubt.
right? And we, for us, we realized if someone has a standing appointment to work on their golf specific fitness with
Mhm.
a trainer, they're less likely to cancel because Just like I didn't cancel on you today. I was like, oh, I gotta be there
That pressure
today.
to show up.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that text this morning, 6:45.
But so I mean, if you have 2 appointments a week and you do that throughout the year, that not only affects those 2 days, but now you're more likely to do something in between, right? Because now you're living this lifestyle of, oh, I work out. I've heard clients say, because I work out twice a week, I make different decisions when I'm eating now.
Without a doubt, I've experienced that myself. Yeah, when I've been taking care of myself the best, I ate
Yeah.
better. You just yeah.
So I think the science is in the motivation, right?
Yeah.
Is like, how do you get someone to change their habits? How do you get someone to buy into something like that? And I think more and more people are doing it. Um, I think golf instruction is moving towards that. You know, I, I'm hoping 20 years from now, if you don't know the body really well, like I think every golf coach is going to have to know the body and equipment,
Yeah.
right? Because um, it's just right there. The information is there to be understood. Um, and yeah, as a golf coach, if I can motivate someone to get healthier, get stronger, get faster, I feel like that's almost more beneficial than helping them find the right grip.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. So we played some golf today.
Yeah.
36 holes.
Yeah,
We got our movement in.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How was it? Victoria.
Yeah.
Had you out at Victoria? You have a good time?
Yeah, this is my golf holiday.
Golf
right?
holiday today.
So 4 kids, don't get to do too much golf on my own, but I'm teaching them to play real fast so then we can play soon. Like trying to teach them to play fast, meaning at a young age, but then
Yeah.
also on the course play
Play
really
fast.
fast.
Yep.
I figure I'm like 7 years, 8 years from being able to like play with them regularly.
Well, we've seen the blueprint, the Heartlings.
Yeah, the Heartlands.
They are the blueprint. Fivesome in 3.5 hours
Yeah.
walking.
Yep, exactly. So I
Canyon
got
Crest and Victoria, no problem.
the 3 boys will be playing golf with me. So yeah, I think we're gonna stick to the pre-Father's Day party once a year until 5, 6 years from now when the boys can play the golf course. I'll get to play a little more.
So how did you find yourself at Cal Baptist?
I say I snuck into college golf.
Yeah, me too. So
No, you were a much better
no,
player.
I did. I'll never. I tell this story all the time. The coach that recruited me said I've got 2 spots and you're my 3rd choice.
That's
So
true.
I definitely snuck into college
Yeah.
golf.
So Cal Baptist was NAIA, right? And I played.
Wow, they're Division 1 now.
Yeah. So I played. I went from Long Beach, so I would say like locally I was decent. Like I could shoot even under par at the Long Beach golf courses.
Yeah.
And then, I think they like recruited me because of potential. They're like, oh, this kid's kind of small. Maybe he'll get bigger and grow into it. And he seemed super gritty, and I was super gritty.
Yeah.
The problem with being really gritty in college golf is I was really good at qualifying for tournaments.
I mean, that's good for you.
It's good for me, but
Yes.
like when I would go to the actual tournaments, my game would just get so exposed. Like, Long Beach, it's just everything's Kikuyu grass.
Yeah.
Like, I mastered the chunk and run off the apron.
You go to those college courses, they're a little different.
Yeah, and the grasses were just, I didn't have the experience to chip off certain types of grasses.
Yeah.
I remember my first double chip in my first college tournament. I was like, oh my gosh. I've never done that before, but I was so used to what I was used to.
Kikuyu is it's a different animal.
So you see the guys at Riv struggle off the Kikuyu,
Yeah.
like those are my dream grass.
Yes, exactly. I like it too. I'm used to it too.
All the other stuff, it's like, oh man, it's nervy. I figured it out now. I'm better, but college golf. So I snuck into college golf. I was good at qualifying, not great in tournaments, and then we're Division 2. So I always just say, hey, I played for Cal Baptist. And like, oh yeah, that Division 1 school. I was like, yeah, that Division 1 school.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Make
when
them
I
do the
played,
research.
it was Division 2. No, don't research it. You'll see the average score is not great. But I always wanted to coach, right? So I remember my junior year, I would read a golf book like Ben Hogan's 5 Fundamentals, practice it for like 2 weeks. And then I would read another golf book, right? George Knudsen's book. And then I'd practice that for 2 weeks. And I don't know, I just loved it. So
This is before you could watch every swing of thought on YouTube
Not-
for
but-
25 hours straight.
And yeah, not too far before though, right?
Yeah.
That came like 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
later.
Well, it's
So
not like it is now, though. I mean,
yeah,
every lesson I give, pretty much someone's like, well, I saw this on YouTube.
yeah. But I read all these classic books. Like I
Yeah.
read Percy Boomer on learning golf. I read The Golf Machine. I read Harvey Pennick's Little Red Book. Like I read that when I was 12, 13.
That was
I
my
think
first golf book.
that's probably why I became a golf coach, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
I took a lesson and a guy gave me Harvey Pennick's Little Red Book, which is actually just his journal,
Yeah.
right? And so I think I always looked at golf through a teacher's lens,
Yeah.
right? It was always, and there's so much wisdom in that book. It's like the more I coached, the more I just realized how right he was,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like he coached college golf and gave lessons.
Yeah.
And so if you have that surround, like there's times to be the college golf coach for the golfer, and then there's time to be the pro, right?
Yeah.
Right. If someone's like, I love the way he opens that book. He talks about, and this is something I talk about with people, is he says when teaching or learning, you got to decide if you're working on the club face at impact or if you're working on your swing that day. And I always like think about that. I play it in my head, and yeah, if you want the ball flight to be straighter, then
Yeah.
work on the club face at impact,
Yeah.
right? And it will instantly get straighter,
Yeah.
right? If it's hooking, it's because it's too close. Like that's the only thing it could be. Um, but then he said there's times to work on the swing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the swing, there's times to work on your routine, your swing mechanics, and all that stuff, and just know that those are the days where the golf ball might not be super happy,
Yeah.
right? And I like that he separated the two because I think too often, especially when I was first coaching, I would try to change someone's technique to change the ball.
Yeah.
Um, and it just wouldn't. I don't feel like golfers were maturing when that was going on. I
Yeah.
think now when I coach, I always try to have the client like have almost the same knowledge of ball flight laws as myself
Yeah.
as quickly as possible so
For
that
sure.
we're on the same page.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
Right.
definitely. Yeah.
Rather, before it was like the golf pro had the mysterious ability to make you hit it
Yeah.
better,
Yeah.
right? Before all this information, it's like, oh, I have to go get a lesson.
Yeah.
And what was the pro really doing was just either opening or closing the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the client or the pupil was thinking, well, I have no idea why my ball's going left.
Yes.
Or I have no idea why this is slicing.
Yeah.
And I think we're past that. I think now every golfer can know that.
Yeah.
Right? And especially with TrackMan and all of this. So
Yeah.
now that's why I always say I'm head coach, not like director of instruction. Is like when I think of coaching, like great coaches are trying to get the best out of the players that they work with.
For sure.
Right. And like when you look at basketball, I love Doc Rivers as a coach. I don't know why. I'm just drawn to his style. But I always think like, oh, he's just trying to get the best out of every player on that team.
Yeah.
So he has to know them and know what makes them tick and know what motivates them. And I think when like early in my career, I was definitely teaching and instructing, which is important. But I feel like I've transitioned into this. And when I coached RCC, that's when I kind of realized it. But it's like, yeah, coaching, right? It's like I have no new information to give these people, no secret sauce to give anybody.
Yeah.
But if I can help them be their best and feel like they're progressing, then that's coaching to me.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that's so important, especially it's the relationship you build with that student over a period of time is just so important.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think I've ever gone to a lesson, just one lesson, and been like, oh, I'm cured. I know what I need to do, and I don't need to ever go back and see that coach again.
Yeah.
You've got to when myself improved the most, I was seeing an instructor on a regular basis, the same instructor on a regular basis for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And golf is such a huge thing. Like there's always so much to learn that I just think the better relationship you can have with your coach or vice versa with the player,
Yeah.
the more improvement you're going to see.
So we've flipped that on its head a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is a little interesting, but this is I really believe in this. One of the And I think at the highest level, you probably do have to have like the
Hmm.
same person you're always seeing. But I think for the beginner, the developing golfer, it's so important to have more than one coach. And I
How
know that
so?
sounds crazy. There's a lot of things that happen, right? If you are, let's pick a handicap, which let's say the average is 15,
Yeah,
18
15,
handicap.
18 handicap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably.
So let's say 18 handicap has three golf coaches, right?
Hmm.
And sees them on a rotating basis. Especially if those coaches work on a team.
Yeah, I think that's where you.
But even then, it's like something happens when you take lessons from multiple people, you're learning to synthesize information,
Hmm.
right? And I think when you do that, you start realizing, like, okay, I kind of like what Coach A said. I really like what Coach B said. And I understand what Coach C is saying, but I don't think that's going to work for me.
Yeah,
Now that 18 handicapper is making like informed decisions on their game,
yeah.
and they feel more empowered, right? And they're still seeing the coaches and like
Hmm.
getting better from it. I think what it used to be, and my fear when an 18 handicapper just has one coach, is it's all up to that coach at this point,
Yeah.
right? Their whole golf game is up to that one coach. And I know for me, like my early years, I wish I had two coaches alongside me because I really didn't know what I was doing, right? And also like the clients would get so dependent
Hmm.
on the coach,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think the healthiest environment if someone wants to get better at golf is have multiple people that you take instruction from, right? And then somehow put yourself in a regular pressured environment.
So you think an 18 handicapper can make an informed decision on golf information?
Yes.
That's a bold,
I
bold
know it's
statement,
super
sir.
bold. It's
Bold
super
statement.
bold. I do. I think if we do a good job as coaches, we
Hmm.
can have that 18 handicapper understand ball flight laws, right? We could tell them,
Yeah.
hey, if the ball curves left, the face was closed. If the ball goes to the right, face is open. We can also help them understand contact,
Hmm.
right? It should be ball first with the iron, and we could teach them ways to figure out if they're hitting it too much on the heel or too much on the toe. We could also help an 18 handicapper understand how grip affects club face,
Yeah.
right? We could tell them, hey, for the most part, a strong grip, you don't have to turn over as much, and a weak grip, you have to turn it over more. And I mean, you watch the PGA Tour today, like Colin Morikawa has a weaker grip, Rory has a stronger grip. They both are the same. They're both very good at golf.
Yeah.
And I think the mystery of straight, like the ball flying straight, like that mystery, I think an 18 handicapper could understand it.
Hmm.
They might not be good at it,
Yeah.
but they can understand it. And then I think now at that point the game is simple, right? It's we're trying to get this club face square and we're
Hmm.
trying to hit it out of the center with some club speed.
Yeah.
Now the coaching is more, hey, what drills are we going to do to improve your skills today?
Yeah.
Rather than what drills are we going to do today to change your technique.
So you got, say you have an student and you've got their three coaches. Do you do, as the head coach, do you do anything to make sure those three coaches have got some sort of a vision of
This is
aligned?
where it gets wild. Ready? So if let's say just you and I, we're both coaches, right?
Hmm.
And let's just take a client, like let's Liam, good player,
Okay.
but let's take someone bad.
Okay.
Let's say Liam's now an 18 handicap.
Okay.
We know he's not. He's a college
He
golfer.
was, so when he was 7,
Yeah, when he was 7.
maybe.
Perfect. Hey, when he was 7, we were both coaching him,
Yeah.
right?
That's true.
You were coaching him private lessons, and then I would do these junior camps
Hmm.
where he would
Yeah.
participate,
Yeah.
right? And so the coaches are going to be saying, hey, this is the drills we're doing today. We're working on your driver, or we're working on 150 and in.
Hmm.
Here's what we want as far as the ball outcome. And then we always try to put in the client's own words what they're trying to do swing wise to make it happen, right? If you give them the goal of saying, hey, we want you to hit 10 draws that finish on the right side of the target with solid contact. If it's 18 handicap Liam, it might take him the whole
Wow.
session,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But through that task, he's learning. He's
Yeah.
learning how the grip affects the club face. He's learning how club path and face are related because he's trying to accomplish this task.
Yeah.
And then the coach serves as a guide and a motivator,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like if you were, let's say you had some fitness goals, right? And
I do. I'm not achieving them very well right now.
okay. You would be totally open to seeing like 2 or 3 different fitness coaches.
The more, the better in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because it's, hey, anything's better than what we're doing.
Correct.
Right? So for the 18 handicap that's, not practicing, not in lessons yet, like
Yeah.
anything is better.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as the coaches don't say, hey, I have the magic pill, it's going to fix it, don't listen to anyone but me.
Mm-hmm.
As long as that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
they can work together and someone can really see a lot of benefit. And a client may find like, hey, I really like working with these 2 coaches. They seem to just get me.
Yeah.
We find that's more personalities,
Yeah.
less technical understanding.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think golf at the end of the day is real simple and real hard, right? The ball is going to do what the club face tells it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really hard. I mean, you're 2 degrees off
Yeah.
and you're way off the grid.
And the higher speed you get, the more
The more that matters.
the more off the grid you can be.
Yeah,
without
but
a doubt.
that's what makes it, and that's what I always say. It's like, does that make sense for the 18 handicapper how they can
For sure.
progress in
Yeah.
that setting?
Yeah.
The only thing that's missing in the 18 handicapper's life is junior golf tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's getting to be more and more amateur golf tournaments out
Yeah.
there. It takes, I mean, it's scary for, I feel like, a lot of, especially an 18 handicapper, to go play in one of these
Yeah,
ones.
and if
But-
you're going to play in a tournament, you have to figure out how to take a lesson and make it so that you can still hit your ball in a predictable way.
Yeah.
Because in order to play around the golf course under perceived pressure
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So when we start diving down these technical routes with this 18 handicapper, I think they just get better at taking lessons
Mm-hmm.
rather than getting better
Kind
at
of getting
golf.
that information and knowing how to use it.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Like I've seen it. I've seen when someone's like, they've got like if someone kind of sticks with one person too much, they just get better at taking lessons from that person. Like they're good at listening to the information, they're good at synthesizing it and doing it in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But on the golf course, the thing that really makes people better is junior golf tournaments or
Yeah.
tournaments or
Tournaments,
pressured where they really care and they're going to grit out figuring out how to get the club face square enough, contact good enough, hit the ball good enough to where they can make pars.
So something that I run into is they don't have junior golf tournaments, but they've got the club events.
Sure.
There's always the club events going on. So how do you get someone to be comfortable making changes, improving their golf game when they've got team play coming up?
Good question. So this is, how I always say junior golf tournaments are what make people better.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like the average person can't go back in time and do that.
Unfortunately.
Right? Because there's something pure about just, straight up play. There's less, like, as juniors, you would get embarrassed, but there's less of that.
Mm-hmm.
The club level, like, they're battling embarrassment in front of their peers.
For
There's
sure.
a lot of, like, things they're battling.
Yeah.
So they don't have that freedom of a junior.
No.
And so they might not get that. But I would say for that club member that's trying to, prepare for those tournaments, how do you get them prepared? I would say help them pick what shot they want to hit. I love Butch Harmon's phrase, and I'm paraphrasing here because I've heard it from somebody or heard it from a book or somewhere. But he said, "I won't look at your swing until you tell me what shot you're trying to hit."
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And so I think if I'm going to help a club player get better or get ready for their tournament, let's figure out, hey, what shot are we going to hit?
Mm-hmm.
Like predominantly.
Yeah.
Are we going to hit a small draw or a small fade? All right, well, let's just do that so much with every club in your bag. First, let's
Yeah.
make sure you can do it in bulk, right? 10 times each club. And then can you do it in your routine, which is actually harder than doing it in bulk,
Yeah, for sure.
right? But can you do it practicing within your routine? And then now can we go on the golf course and still do it in our routine with one shot and produce that same shape? and then it'll show up.
How do you help someone find their routine?
Mm. It's a good question. I think it's only a routine if you've done it a lot.
Yeah.
Like the definition of a routine is something you do every day.
Yeah.
And so I think you just have to pick what it's going to be and you make sure it's fast enough.
Yeah.
I think a fast routine that feels slow is a lot better than a lengthy routine that feels rushed.
You're constantly rushing. Yeah.
Right? So if it's like one practice swing, look at the target, walk in, 2 looks and go, that's perfect. Now just do it a lot.
Yeah.
For something to be a routine, you have to do it a lot. And so I think that's the blueprint. If I had to, I mean, this blueprint that's just my style of coaching.
Yeah.
This is not UGP's style. This is just my personal style of coaching. And it's all learned from everyone, but let's figure out what shot you want to hit. If it's a small draw, let's do it in bulk first, right? Every club, 10 reps, and make sure you can do it. Some days it takes 10. Sometimes it takes 100 because it's just not there.
Yeah.
Once that phase is done, let's do it in the routine. Still in bulk, but in a routine. And then let's do it where it's the one shot. There was I think his coach is named Dave Allred. He was a performance coach for Francisco Molinari.
Okay.
And I read his book and stuff like that. I listened to his podcasts, and he talks about 2 things. He talks about the ugly zone and coaching the first rep. And so that's kind of like weaved into my coaching style is the ugly zone. So that's where learning happens, but performance is bad. So, right, if 18 handicap slices it, we want to learn how to draw it. The ugly zone is like we're going to hit some like pretty bad hooks, right?
Yeah.
Like it's going to look kind of bad.
Yeah.
But you're learning how to hit a draw.
Yeah. How to change it.
Like I'd always say, no one has a slice. They just don't know how to draw it.
Yeah.
Like you're not sick with a slice disease. You just don't know how to hit a draw.
Yeah.
And so work them through the ugly zone in bulk. Then the pre-shot routine, it still is the ugly zone. It's like, can they do it from their pre-shot routine?
Mm-hmm.
And then you start coaching that first rep. So you got to create as many first rep opportunities as you can. So it could be, let's hit it. The task is 8-iron draw to the 150 marker. That's the habit they want. That's what they want to be able to do on the golf course. So you make them hit a driver first, right? And you make them hit a certain drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the drive is just the distraction, right? So it's like, let's say you have to hit a 240-yard drive in between these 2 trees, and then you get 1 chance with the 8-iron.
Gotcha.
So once they accomplish out with the driver, it may take 1 to 3 shots. That's just the distraction. That's not what we're actually working on.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm coaching is, okay, you got 1 chance now with the 8-iron to accomplish your task.
Yeah.
We're coaching the first rep at that point. So
Yeah.
now we're watching the routine. We're watching everything. And they might pass, they might fail. If they fail, they're going to really want to rake another ball.
Yes.
But you use the distractions. Like, okay, perfect. You want another one? Get that driver first. Get it in your hand.
Yeah.
However many shots it takes.
Yeah.
And then you're simulating first rep.
Yeah.
So I think I've like dove heavily into that over the last couple of years, into my own personal coaching philosophy. And it's, put someone through the ugly zone, develop their shot shape, ugly zone with routine, and then train the first rep until it's there. Now, I think every golfer in the world struggles with FOMO still,
Yeah.
right? Like
What's FOMO?
fear of missing out.
Okay. You had to teach me that.
Yeah. Fear of missing out. And I think it's normal, right? It's like, hey, I'm working really hard on what I'm doing, but this guy keeps beating me. What am I missing? What am I missing? So then you go seek out information. I think that's healthy, right? I think it's healthy to take the risk, go see a coach that you've never seen before, listen to what they have to say, try it. But I still think keep that relationship with that one coach that knows you the best, that always holds you with like an open hand, not a closed hand, right? Because then it's like if I have this client I'm working with and I keep that hand open, I'm like, yeah, please go see this coach, see what they have to say.
Yeah.
I get to see how this coach's philosophy impacts this player,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually get to learn from it,
Yeah, for sure.
right? And if I keep that relationship, um, that person's still going to trust me when it's going bad, right?
Yeah.
And so I like to become that floor for someone, like floor meaning their worst performances, ceiling being their best,
Okay.
right? It's like if I could keep that floor under someone and just kind of raise it little by little,
Yeah.
that's more what I try to personally do as a coach. I try not to risk it all and reach for like some crazy drastic change, but I think that's just my role now, and we're always adapting to what we're doing, right?
For sure.
Like when I was at Canyon Crest on the driving range, um, I was incentivized to have like a unique perspective,
Mm-hmm.
but then also I was kind of incentivized to like make sure someone played their best round right after the lesson.
Yes, that's definitely without whenever you feel like whenever you're giving lessons out on a range, that is
Yeah,
something that just the student feels like they have to be hitting the ball better right then.
yeah,
I mean,
and
half the time they're going out to go play right
I
after
mean,
too.
so my like when I started as a coach, it was at General Old,
Mm-hmm.
so people would take driving range lessons. The golf course is wide open.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the people that took lessons from me, I would get so technical and so mechanical to make changes in their swing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Instagram was new, so I could make the Instagram photo,
Yeah.
right, and make it look really cool.
Yeah.
And then when it looked really cool, people would be like, "Oh, I want to take a lesson
Take a
from
lesson
Oniell."
for sure.
And there was no like penalty for them hitting it OB with a driver because there's not a lot of OB.
Especially on the right side of General.
Yeah,
There's none.
there's none. So I didn't have any like consequences
Yeah.
for what I was coaching and teaching. And you know that I'm very analytical and I can go down rabbit holes of all these books and stuff like that. And I didn't get any real feedback, right? I was
Mm-hmm.
just like kind of overly confident. And I think some people got better, but I had like this joke in my head of like, oh yeah, I'm like a 90s coach. Like no matter how long you work with me, the longer you work with me, the closer you'll get to shooting 90.
90s coach.
Right? So it's like if you shoot 110, it's like, yeah, I can get you down to 90. But
Yeah.
if you shoot like 72, like maybe we'll have a couple good rounds. But I didn't really have enough experience,
Gotcha.
right? When I got to Canyon Crest, I'll never forget my first lesson ever at Canyon Crest.
Who was it with?
Jeff Young.
Oh.
And he's slicing it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, oh, perfect. Easy. I'm going to get that face more closed. And then he'll react to it and start drawing it,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's a member of a course, so they play a lot more
A lot
than
more.
people at
Especially
public
Jeff.
courses. And it's like 12 o'clock, right, on a Saturday, right after I give him a lesson. He goes to the first tee immediately in that, I didn't know what it was, but what's that scramble game they used to do?
Select shot, they call
Select
it.
shot.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a tragedy. Like, I purposely have him pulling it right now because I'm like, he's going to practice. But no, he went right to the first tee.
Right to the first tee.
And
with water on the left.
He hits the shed
No.
with the driver.
Oh my gosh.
He hit it so far left. But that stuck out to me, and that was a really important moment in my coaching career because I was like, oh, if people are going to refer their friends to take lessons from me, they have to hit the ball better in their next round.
Yeah.
And so at that
Which
point,
could start at the end of the lesson.
yes, and it did. So at that point, like I said, the incentive. Now the incentive is, hey, get people to play good golf right away.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I think I was being the club pro, right? It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you're slicing it. Okay, I'm just going to change it a little because if I change it a lot, you're going to play really bad,
Yeah.
and no one's going to take a lesson from me.
Yeah.
So I went from at General Old, like Instagram was the incentive.
Yeah.
All these big wide ideas were the incentive. Now at Canyon Crest, the incentive is, can someone like hit the ball better tomorrow
Yeah.
or today,
Or
like in the next
In
minute?
5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was good for me. And we did the junior stuff too. And that was such a learning curve. Like, how do you get kids to want to come out on 100-degree days?
100-degree.
Yeah.
That's a cool one, honestly. With the concrete down there on that
Yeah.
driving range, man.
And how do you manage 20 kids by yourself?
Yep. Wrangling cats.
Yeah. But that was such a good learning experience. Like running those junior camps with like 20 kids. You had it, and I was reading books. I'm always reading books, right? So I was like reading the talent code and all this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
you think like, oh yeah, they just have to do really basic things together.
Yeah.
And I think that helps me like parent my kids today. Was running those camps.
Well,
And
force.
it helps me with my job too. Is like you have to make it simple to understand.
Yeah.
Um, it was funny. My daughter was coaching my son in soccer yesterday, so I think coaching like runs in our blood. But she like made this weird drill, and Tucker gets so upset. He's like, "I don't understand." Like he goes and cries, and he's mad at his sister. And I was like, "Olive, that's way too complicated. There's like 5 cones and I just thought like, yeah, like coaching is making like a complexity. The simpler a drill can be,
Mm-hmm.
the better,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's what I learned through those junior camps.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, going to, like I said, you're always trying to survive the situation you're in and thrive in it. I should say thrive in it. So General Old, I was trying to thrive through social media stuff,
Yeah.
and then Canyon Crest, I'm trying to thrive through people shooting their best scores and these juniors coming out to these camps. And then at UGP, when I was just a coach, like doing my own book and stuff like that within the company, but I think I was trying to like you're coaching indoors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just such a it was a new experience at the time, and you would want people to see like instant change, like metric change,
Yeah.
right?
Change the numbers.
Yeah, and you could
Yeah.
actually do it quite easily.
Uh-huh.
Um, but then what I realized is like, okay, now you can kind of do it too easily, right? It's like if someone like slices it, you teach them how to draw it like kind of in 10, 15 minutes because the feedback that the client gets from TrackMan is so good for them,
Yeah.
right? They can just instantly see their club and they're like, oh my gosh, like I learned the ball flight laws and now I
Mm-hmm.
can see my club. And like you can train someone with TrackMan by like, okay, we're going to put the face to path number up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Our goal is to get this -2 number. So then it starts drawing, and it's such a good teaching tool. That's why I always say like the information and the understanding of the game is just there now,
Yeah.
even for the 18 handicapper.
Yeah.
But golf's still hard, right? And
Yep.
so now it's like, how can I motivate someone to want to work on these things? How can I, um, and how can I like, for me, whenever I coach like an actual like when I'm working with a client, I'm seeing them within a team now,
Yeah.
right? I'm seeing that client, but that client also needs to be ready to see two or three other coaches. And so the incentive now is like, how much can I help this client understand golf,
Yeah.
right? And it's gone from I need to really impress them with my knowledge to now I really need to like support them with truths about golf. And like it's a different education, but I don't want golf to be mysterious. It's okay that it's hard,
Yeah.
but it
I
shouldn't be
mean, that's
mysterious.
that's probably. I think that's one of the best things about it is that it is hard. The better you get, I feel like the harder it
I
gets.
tell everyone, every person I work with, I always say, hey, good golfers are not happy people.
No, they aren't. They
Like
aren't.
you shot 67 today, three putting 18, and you're like, I hit the ball so bad today,
So
and you
bad.
showed it. Like you're grimacing, you're like pissed off. I'm like, people don't realize like good golfers are not
It
happier.
doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah. There's not. I don't play golf if you want to be happy.
Yeah, but
If the score is what you're looking for, anyways, you can
the
improve and improve and improve forever, because it's just the constant challenge.
yeah.
This game is
Look,
always going to challenge you.
nobody needs golf. Nobody needs to golf, but everybody needs to do something outdoor. I've told you this before,
Mm-hmm.
but everyone needs to be doing something outdoors. They need to do something with friends. They need to do something physical,
Mm-hmm.
right? They need to do something mentally stimulating. And so if golf is that thing, then it's great.
Yeah, and golf can be that thing for so many people. It's just that's why it's such a great game. I heard Michael Jordan's always said it's the hardest game there is, and now I just heard recently Derek Jeter picked up the game, and he says the same thing. And if those two athletes think golf is the hardest game,
Yeah.
probably shouldn't be too hard on yourself after a bad round.
Yeah, and I like to tell like, the scoring mountain, right? Like within 2 days you can be 16 shots different, but you're still the same golfer.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Like that's
Yeah.
true, right? And that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah. I don't know how many different young golfers I'll say, yeah, you can look at the top of the leaderboard, but make sure at the PGA Tour event, make sure you scroll down and look at the bottom of the leaderboard too.
Yeah,
That guy that won last week, unless his name's Scotty Scheffler, is down at the bottom of the leaderboard half the time too. Like they don't
yeah,
always play good, even at the highest level.
yeah.
There's drastic inconsistency because this game is so hard.
Do you know what the happiest handicap is?
I don't.
The rumor has it it's a 12.
A 12, that's the number.
But if you think about it, if you're a 12, you don't expect to break 80, like
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah. If you shoot 80, that's so funny. My dad was a pretty happy golfer, and he was right around there, 12 to
So,
14.
and like for whatever reason, if you're a 12 and 80s is all the same.
Yeah.
Like 81 to 89 is all the same. And low 90s, you're like, dang, I was close. But they're never really going to get to 100.
Yeah. No,
They're
it's too far
rarely
away.
going to shoot 100. So
Yeah.
that in their mind, like 96, it's just a bad day, but it's still under 100. So I think, more 12 handicappers, the
Yeah.
world would be a happier place.
If we get the world to have a lot more 12 handicappers, there's going to be a lot more
Yeah.
happy people out there for sure,
It's true.
without a doubt. So something that I've always run into is, a lesson can be intimidating. Someone goes somewhere new, or a first lesson in general can be pretty intimidating. So how do you guys at UGP get a new client comfortable taking a golf lesson? Because it can
Yeah.
be scary.
I think I'll speak for what like I've learned through working at UGP, but I think just learning like the hospitality side and just trying to like do all the right things as far as like greet them with a smile, right? Talk to them about other stuff before you get into the lesson. Just be personable,
Mm-hmm.
right? Make sure it's clean where you coach them. I think the indoor space is so much more inviting and it's private,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
think the privacy thing is super helpful.
yeah, and it's like and here's the other thing, like I remember coaching on the range, and even me, like I was like, if a client was really bad, I was kind of embarrassed about my coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh man, everyone's gonna see me coaching,
Yeah.
and we're not doing too great right now. So if I felt that pressure, like I
Yeah,
can't
what do they
imagine what
feel?
the client felt, right? And like being outdoors on a range, like I remember the Canyon Crest range, like
Everyone
I had to
can
yell
watch.
four to Bobby sometimes in the carts, right? And that's so intimidating. So
For sure.
I think like it's just a good atmosphere. The indoors, something about being indoors, and I remember you talked about it. Like, your coach said coaching indoors is great, and
Yeah.
I'm like a firm believer in that now because also like one, it's private. Two, like if we're learning to like hit a hook shot, like I can't imagine what some of the sessions that I've coached would look like outdoors, right? Because I'll like put the curve number up and it's like, let's just see how much you can curve it left,
Uh-huh.
and it's like try to get 100,
Yeah.
just for fun,
Yeah.
right? And then you turn that into like a soft draw shot later
Yeah.
on. But then I'm thinking outdoors, this would look ridiculous.
Be dangerous.
Yeah, because you'd be hitting the left fence, left fence.
Yes.
So anyway, to make it people like feel comfortable, I think just the indoor setting is just nice,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely.
And if they feel comfortable with the coach, then it's okay to be bad at golf,
Mm-hmm.
but you're getting better.
Yeah. So, say I've got my tee time. I'm late to the tee. I've got 15 minutes to get to warm up. What should I do?
Jump rope.
Jump rope. I don't have a jump rope. I forgot my jump rope.
Yeah. Just I don't know, some sort of like workout to get the body temperature up,
Okay.
right? Like a lot of like lunges, something to get blood flow in the legs.
Okay.
I'd say like 15 minutes, get some blood flow in the legs. We have some, like I have a band in my golf bag, and
Mhm.
I'll try to get like my back warmed up a little bit, and then I just like what Tiger said, hit the shot you're gonna hit on the first hole.
I can't hit balls though. No.
Oh, no balls?
No balls.
Then that's it. Yeah, get the
Some sort
body
of a
temperature up.
dynamic
Yeah,
warm up. Just move
yeah.
around.
Don't do a cold stretch.
Okay.
The studies show that a cold stretch makes actually performance worse.
Okay.
But like a dynamic warm up where you're getting some blood flow and getting
Mm-hmm.
the muscles like a little bit fatigued, that gets the body awake.
Gotcha. Okay. Uh, so you've got golf lessons you do at
Hmm.
your GP, club fitting
Club
too,
fitting, yeah.
and what do you do for the persons? But besides fitness, what else do you guys do for taking care of a client's body?
So we do fitness and recovery. So we have
Okay.
like recovery is to get you to move your body the way it should, right? So certain mobility restrictions and stuff like that, and then fitness is to get you to move the body the way you want it to be,
Okay.
right? Like, um, and they work together, right? Like I always say, like the harder you work out, the more you need recovery, actually,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I I just like I would do it every day. I love like the workouts that I get to see the people do and the
Yeah.
recovery sessions and but I'm into that stuff. I love the body and how like working on it. I think club fitting is like a big future of coaching like development, right?
Mm-hmm.
Understanding equipment is I didn't understand it at all really when I first started coaching, and then the more you fit, and it's weird because we're not like a fitting studio,
Yeah.
right? So everyone I fit, I have to coach it as well. Or
Okay.
we have to coach it,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, okay, I'm not going to try to save the day with your fitting here because I also know we're going to coach you
Yeah.
into these shots that you're going to learn.
Yeah.
And I think we're learning more about how equipment really like can change the way a golfer reacts, right? Um, like game improvement irons are always a little hooded, right? So they're always a little left bias.
Yeah.
If you improve your game improvement irons
Aren't going to improve your
aren't going
number.
to help you as
Yeah.
much. They're going to cause you to miss lefts.
Yeah.
Like bad golfers hate slicing it, good golfers hate hooking it,
Yeah.
right? And so as you take lessons and you learn, you want to make sure your equipment is in line with where you're going.
For sure.
I can't tell you how many times at Canyon Crest I was trying to teach someone how to spin wedges around the green, and their wedges are like 10 years old.
10 years old, caked with mud and grass.
But that's
Why
my
isn't this
fault.
spinning?
That's my fault. I was trying to be the hero. I was like, "Hey, I need you to take lessons from me right now. So if we're gonna learn how to do this." But really, what that person needed was like actually like you need a new wedge
Yeah.
more than you need a lesson
Yeah.
from me. So, and then I think the drivers are such an important club, right at the higher levels.
Mm.
So I think the tour coach of the future is going to also have to understand fitting at such a high level.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you're coaching and you're trying to get someone to hit a better shot, like going back to what Harvey Pennick said, like let's say we're working on the club face at impact because we need the ball
Mm-hmm.
to do what we want. If we're working on the club face at impact, you have to consider the equipment,
Yeah. Without a
right?
doubt.
If you don't consider the equipment, you're I always talk about it this way. Just and again, this is just my own personal philosophy of like looking the lens I look through when I look at a golfer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I always say first and foremost, like who's in charge of the decisions the coach is going to make is the golf course designer. Right? It's like if the golf courses are super long, as a coach, I got to make decisions about,
Yeah.
hey, we got to increase speed.
Yeah.
Right? But if for whatever reason we played on par three courses for the rest of our lives and the longest hole is 180, like, hey, we're gonna be working on these things, right? So I always say the first and foremost, the person we're trying to please is a golf course designer. Then we have some rules, right? Like there's rules around the golf ball, right? And I say the golf ball because the golf ball used to be really spinny,
Yes. Really spinny.
right? So who reacted to the
Soft
spinning?
and spinny.
Yeah, so who had to react to that soft and spinning golf ball? The equipment manufacturers,
Yeah.
right? Now the golf ball's a lot less spinny.
Yeah.
So now the equipment manufacturers are making adjustments. And so I would say golf course first, then golf ball, and then the equipment, right? Like if you came and took a lesson from me and you have, I don't know, let's say you swing 7 iron like 95 miles an hour and you have like a hot faced 7 iron that's going like 200 yards, right? I could either, as a coach, I can either have you like open the face and learn to hit soft little cuts,
Mm-hmm.
or I could say, hey, Michael, like I think you've graduated from having that as your club.
I don't need that hot 7 iron anymore.
Yeah, I think you need this
Yeah.
club, and let's coach you with that because
Yeah.
that's going to make a significant change in your ball
For
play,
sure.
right? And so as a golf coach, you always have to consider the equipment,
Yeah.
and I think even more than you think.
Yeah. Definitely. I feel like golf club manufacturers, I'm not going to lie, I feel like I'm their enemy. I feel like they constantly are making clubs to try to fix swing flaws,
Sure.
and it just makes it harder for people that are actually trying to fix their swing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much like I don't know much on
For
the R and
example,
D
those
side.
drivers just keep getting more and more upright
Yeah, that's correct.
to help
But
people.
it's swung the other way, right? Like the ping driver is flatter,
Okay.
right? And it's more fade biased. And even Titleist, you could set it down pretty flat.
Yeah.
So I think they've responded. But I think there was a period of time where drivers were coming out really upright,
Yeah.
and the average player was like, "This is the best driver out."
Yes.
And the good player, the college player who has no idea, they're just getting golf
Yeah.
clubs, they're hooking it off the planet,
Yeah.
right? And I don't think we'll ever know. It's like I wish I could watch like old school golf and just see. Yeah, the thing that'll stick out to me on it is Sam Snead in his book Education of a Golfer.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about this driver he got from Georgia Zet. And he says in his book, if I didn't get that driver, you guys never would have heard of Sam Snead. He said he hooked every driver until he got that driver.
Wow.
And he's like, I used that driver my entire career. I had them make a perfect copy of it. But once I got that driver, there's something about it. The head, like it was stiff enough that I wasn't hitting these snap hooks.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he started winning. And that reading that like passage
Yeah.
or like paragraph or whatever, like, oh man, equipment matters so much.
Yeah. Without a
right?
doubt.
And you hear people talk about that, and you'll see like players leave a fairway wood in there for a while,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Definitely.
if they trust a fairway wood, they're going to
Yeah.
keep it for a long time.
Yeah.
Same with, I mean, Scotty Scheffler's a great example. Like he uses what he uses. He still has those like tricks on that 4 iron and 3 iron.
Oh,
or
really?
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he knows exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Michael Block was speaking at a seminar, and I was listening,
Uh-huh.
and he was talking about. I think it's so cool. He's like, I know each one of these clubs. I know their tendencies.
Yeah.
Right? He said it in a funny way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to copy it, but that stuck out to me. He's like, yeah, good players, you have to know each club's tendencies
For sure. Yeah.
because there's a subtlety there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know even if this is true, but I heard Jack Nicklaus used a 3-wood for like his whole career, the same 3-wood.
Yeah, I think I
And
saw
it's-
that on Instagram the other day.
I was like, that's nuts. Yeah.
So-
But I'm the same way with them. I mean, it's so hard for me to find a 3-wood that when I find one, I try to never let it go for sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to go more that way, but I'm glad that like there's so much innovation around equipment
Yeah.
too. It is cool and exciting. So you need innovation at the same time you need predictability.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just a good chaos. It's chaos, but I think it's healthy.
Yeah. How often do people usually go into your sessions?
As far as clients, how often
Yeah.
they come in. So like I said, I'm head coach, right?
Yeah.
So when we look at coaching, we look at it as more of like higher frequency,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you coached college golf, I coached college golf. When you coach college golf, there's like 3 practices a week at minimum,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so there's a frequency there. My daughter got better at soccer this year because they had 2 practices a week and 1 game a week.
Yeah.
Right, so frequency seems to be king when it comes to skill development.
Yeah.
So clients will come in 2 to 3 times a week for a period of time. We'll say it's like a semester of golf,
Yeah.
right? And you could really take a lot of ground and go from an 18 to now you have the skills of a 12, but maybe you haven't played enough rounds to be a 12,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you see some true skill development there.
Yeah.
And then you kind of learn to play it. Like that'd be the ideal thing is take 6 weeks, go really intense,
Yeah.
and then learn to play in that new range and kind of do that every year. obviously you can't get better at golf every single week,
Yeah,
right? There will be a plateau. Like, I hate to
definitely.
say it, but Scotty Scheffler plateaued at number one in the world.
Yes, it's plateaued.
But I mean, he's playing amazing, but like he's not gonna like all of a sudden like revamp his game
Yeah,
and try to get to a new level. Maybe, but it's, at a certain point you got to play the game,
yeah.
right? And he's the best in the world at the game, and he's plateaued at number one for how many weeks now?
He's on a pretty good roll right now. Yeah, definitely. So what's next for UGP?
I don't know. I'm more like I said, I'm just the head coach. Like there's a lot of people like Mac and Leo, and they're doing such cool things, but they're probably thinking of more things than I get to know about. So I try to stay focused on just what I'm doing, and for me, I'm just having a lot of fun coaching golfers and training coaches and helping more people get into the golf business through coaching, right? That's what gets me excited. Um, we're like we did start a like we have an app now, which is cool, but it's just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
um,
UGP app.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
And so I think we're just such a young company that 10 years from now, who knows? Like we might, but there's a lot of cool stuff. Like Leo and Ryan are on tour. Like we're working with more tour players now, and we have a presence out there, and that's so cool.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff, I'm sure, but I'm not privy to all of it. I have my job and I focus on it and trying to just do a little better at it each day.
for sure. You mentioned you like the golf workouts and working out. What are your top three golf workouts?
Oh man, I don't know. I think the best thing for me is when I get into a routine and I just do the same thing all the time. Like for me, it's the best golf workout is the workout you do.
Yeah,
Right? I think someone told me
it might
that.
be for most adults. Just
Yeah,
the
it's
best
like
workout is the workout you do.
I've
Yeah,
met some people that are like, yeah, I have this routine that I've been doing for 10 years. And like the fact that you're doing a routine for 10 years is great. Like
yeah,
some people are doing nothing.
yeah.
So for me, a perfect week is I sprint up this hill on Tuesday, 5 reps. I do like a boulder shoulder workout on Thursday night, just
Okay.
trying to get stronger in my upper body. And then I try to do like a lot of like leg stuff throughout the week, but it's just like for me right now, it's all with my kids. Like I'm playing outside with my kids
Yeah.
and I'm doing like some lunges. uh, and then on Friday or whatever, like a 45-minute hit the ball as far as I can session.
Yeah.
That's my perfect week right now within my lifestyle, right? Your fitness needs to fit your lifestyle,
Yeah.
right? And so being a dad with 4 kids, like part of my fitness is like, we're going to play soccer, but I'm going to like sprint to the ball when it goes out because that's my little like routine,
Yeah.
right? Or, stuff like that. And like, we're going to do Mario jumps today, like with the kids. And that's how I try to do it right now. And then I have like some mobility stuff I'm doing from the recovery team that it's like 3 exercises. I just do them every day, and it's very specific to what my body needs. Um, so I find that if I just keep doing the same things, it becomes a routine, and that seems to work for me.
For sure. When a client starts going to UGP, do they have some sort of a kind of an assessment that you guys
Hmm.
do?
Yeah.
How does that work?
So in the assessment, we talk about goals first. Um, like we just want to know what the client wants,
Yeah.
like, and then why they want it. Like, why is it important to them? Sometimes, if someone's coming to UGP, it's like, hey, they're pretty serious about improving,
Yeah.
right? And so maybe it's not just about the slice off the tee, but maybe it's more about, hey, I really want to enjoy golf for the next 10 years so I can go on these trips and have a good time,
Yeah.
right? And I want to have a good time with my son on these trips, right? And so that is a deeper
Yeah.
motivator,
For sure.
right? And when you want like to start working out for golf, you need something that's going to motivate you to make that habit change, right? So it has to be on that kind of deeper level. So in the assessment, we try to uncover that and talk about it. And then we'll do a movement screen, right? We're going to do a basic one and see how this person's body moves just naturally,
Yeah.
right? Like sometimes, I mean, everyone's body is different,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the body will determine the swing technique a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
right? But, and then everyone's body can change.
Yep.
Everybody, right? And so it just takes a long time
Yeah.
because
Change takes time.
yeah, but um, so we want to like see where they're at, get a feel of where they could go, and then I mean we do a basic like kind of lesson in the assessment where they can kind of get a feel of where we'd want to take them, and then we commit to a plan from there. Um, and you know, I think a lot of people learn. Sometimes that's where they first learn about TrackMan
Yeah.
and how ball flight works,
Yeah.
or it might be the first time that they ever felt themselves shift their weight in the golf swing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, but so that's what it is. But I think the most important thing is establishing the goals and figuring out the motivation. That's
For
my
sure.
favorite part of it,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. Sounds fun. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
Thanks for playing 36 holes with me.
yeah,
And thanks for being on the podcast. It was great to catch up.
cool.
Hopefully, not a whole year before we play golf again.
No, 6 months, November, or whenever that is,
All
however
right.
many months that is.
Thanks
Thanks.
again.